In today's video, I want to chat to you guys about the experiment that we're busy with. Good day, my name is Heinrich Rubier from SA Accounting Network, and today's video I want to do something different from our normal videos. I'm actually busy working with another guy. His name is Cobus Oosthuizen. We worked through a book quite recently called The Soul of Money, and I just want to unpack this a little bit with you guys today and tell you about the experiment that we're busy with, and I think that is the main purpose of this video today. I think before we get to the interview, just remember to give the video a like and remember to subscribe to my channel. Let me jump down to the interview, then I can explain to you guys what this is about. Okay, so Cobus, I think just firstly I want to introduce you to all the viewers out there, all the people busy watching the video. Tell me a little bit about yourself, or just introduce yourself to the viewers so they can also just see who Cobus is.
I mean, it's awesome being part of this. Thank you for inviting me. And I think to sum myself up in a sentence is that I'm all about change. I'm all about real sustainable change. Not the kind of thing that on the 1st of January you go like, I want to see a new Cobus. It is about what can I do to really cause change. And that kind of over the years brought me to, or drove me to neuroscience to understand how the human mind works. So I've done some research in that area. And then I kind of landed up in the corporate world with one foot and in community development with the other foot. And in both, it's all about how do we change our thinking to see a better world, a better business, a better community, and a better myself, I guess.
Yes, and I think just for the viewers to give yourself a little bit of background is I've been journeying with Cobus for the last couple of years. He's got a business called LifeXchange Solutions where they just mess with people's minds, and it's really amazing. I'm going to share the link to his YouTube channel in the description of this video, then please go check that out as well. Cool. And the thing that we're going to be talking about today, this experiment, you actually have a whole video on this experiment on that channel if I remember correctly as well. And so the one day I think we were just having a coffee and we were just talking about random things, and we were talking about books because I think both of us really enjoy reading. And Cobus said, you have to read this book. It's called The Soul of Money of Lynn Twist. So I got myself the book. I don't even think I told you that I was going to get the book. But the next moment when we got together, I said, hey, Cobus, I read that book. It's really, really good. And then I think from there, I think it just evolved that we decided, that you guys decided that you want to do this social experiment. And I think, do you want to maybe unpack that a little bit? Or should we talk about the book first? What is the core about this book? And
I think, let's talk about the funny thing is when I read it the first time, I was like, there's something very significant in this concept that Lynn is describing there. So much so that I actually then went ahead, I think I bought 15 copies of the book and just started handing it out, and I wanted people to read it. And I think that there's something that I've always sat with, but I never had a name for it, or I never knew how to conceptualize it. And I think Lynn just so beautifully describes it. And it's this whole contrast between sufficiency and scarcity. And I think that is what the whole book is about. And it's easy to talk about it. It's a way different thing to really grasp it, because it's literally two different belief systems. There's two different ways of looking at the world, or worldviews. And in the book, she describes scarcity, and that's kind of what we all know, as this idea that there's not enough. If you think about it, there's not enough resources in this world. There's not enough food. There's not enough space. There's not enough energy, and therefore, if that's kind of your departure point, that there's not enough, then the next step is to go like, well, then to have more is better. If there's not enough, for my own safety and security in this world, to have more is better. And then the third thing that she mentions in the book is that's just the way it is, that's just life, kind of accept it. That's the scarcity way of thinking. Whereas when it comes to sufficiency, it's all about believing that actually there is enough if you apply your mind. For example, if we think about enough energy, if we think about oil, maybe there's not enough energy. But when we think about the sun, and how can we harness the energy in the sun, and maybe we should just become clever and plug something in there and get it down to earth, But there is actually enough. And that you are enough. You've got everything you need to carve out this life that you want, And that is what we call sufficiency thinking. And now, being a researcher, being a scientist, I can read things and go like, yeah, it sounds nice, but what's the science behind it? And that kind of drove me to doing some research to find, for example, that we are producing enough food every day to feed 10 billion people on planet Earth. Now, we don't have 10 billion people on planet Earth. There's 7 point something at the moment. So what's happening to all this other food? And literally a third of all food is being thrown away every day on this planet. Now, when you start thinking about it, it makes no sense that we have anything like hunger or poverty, you know, and I think that got me so excited about what is missing, you know. If there is enough, why do we live as if there's not enough? And I think that is something that really was captured by Lynn Twist's book, The Soul of Money. And I think it really got us into, let's research, let's do a big experiment as to, can we really have a world of sufficiency? I guess that's how our journey started with this.
And I think maybe just a little bit of background as well, because Cobus obviously comes out of the neurosciences field, is he's always busy with experiments. And I think that is always something, if there's some sort of a challenge, riding an upside down bicycle or backward bicycle, or what was the other one where he ran through a desert?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, whenever a person says something can't be done, I'm all in to prove them wrong. So running in deserts, taking people that said that can hardly walk through deserts, you know. So I love experiments.
So I think that is just the thing that I want to highlight, is what makes it different from us just reading a book and just agreeing over a cup of coffee. So listen, this is a really good book. Let's implement it in our lives. Or taking that to the next level and say, listen, but instead of just implementing it in our lives, can't we maybe do something bigger with this and just see if we can't create a community of people that thinks the same way? So I think that is where this whole experiment starting from. So I think we had a coffee in I think, let's maybe talk about the process or what the whole experiment is about.
Yeah, so, I mean, I won't say this on this video, but I believe this can change the world, man. That's where I'm at. I really believe that there's something in sufficiency thinking that could positively impact the world, because I believe that all the exploitation we see, all the heartache, you know, all the working ourselves to death, you know, all our fears around do we have enough is actually locked into scarcity thinking. And so when I think, well, then what would reverse all of that? It would be to have a sufficiency mindset. And so I guess the umbrella or the big picture of the actual experiment is, what would happen if we create a community of people that truly think sufficiency? Now, when I say truly think sufficiency, it's we can often say we believe things, and then, you know, because it sounds good, the theory sounds good, but, you know, has something changed on my mind? Has it become a reality to me, you know? So the one part of this experiment is can we take a group of people, help them to truly start believing and thinking sufficiency? That's one thing. Can we get them to view the world in that way? And then the second part of this experiment is to say, what will be the impact on their immediate surrounding and on their own lives, you know, on their own well-being? And then what will we see develop from that? You know, will we see new systems, new ways of doing things that will make the old ways obsolete? You know, that will just change it. So that I would say would be the umbrella kind of view, or the big picture view of this experiment. The actual process, simple in one regard, I guess, and that is that we want everybody just to start with an understanding of what the difference is between scarcity and sufficiency. And I mean, you don't even have to join us to go on that journey. You can just get the book, Soul of Money, and work through it. But what we want to do is we want to get a group of people together that say, we want to go on this journey to kind of look at it in depth. And so the first part is we just invite anybody that's interested to join our free book club. It's 6 sessions, 6 evenings, where we work through certain chapters of this book to really get a grasp of what is sufficiency. Then once a person works through that, they can decide if they actually want to become part of the experiment themselves. And for that, we ask you to fill in a form, and then we will ask you to complete a little bit of, or send us a little bit of data every now and then. So there's an annual questionnaire, there's a weekly kind of questionnaire that we would ask you to complete. We measure things like your heart beat intervals. So there's quite a few things that sits there because we really want to see what's the impact of sufficiency thinking on you as a person. And then we also ask you to participate in this community, which is online. So anybody, anywhere in the world can join. It's an online community. And we just ask, we've got all these different events that you would, at a minimum, at least once a month, choose to be part of that. And we send journal questions just to keep your own mind into the process. So from the book club, definitely can become part of this experiment itself, or you can decide that, hey man, I don't know if I want to be part of the experiment, but I would love to observe this process. I'm interested, and then you can become an observer of the experiment. We allow you access to our platform, you become part of it, you can engage with people on the experiment, but it's kind of, I am not as committed to share all my detail, but I'm really intrigued about this experiment, and then there's opportunity for those people to observe it as well. That's kind of the gist of how it works.
Yeah, and I think maybe just to add to that, I think we started with the experiment. We did the book club towards the end of last year. I was part of that book club as well. And I think we kicked off probably about a month or two ago with the experiment itself. So we've probably about a month in. And I must say there are certain things, certain events that happen, and that triggers me to think differently about certain situations. When the past, my default setting would just to jump into scarcity and I don't have time to do this, or I don't want to do this, but to think actually sufficiency, listen, I actually do have time to do this, sometimes. So I would really want to challenge you guys that's busy watching this video. Like I said, I'm part of this journey myself, and I want to invite you guys, if you're interested, to become part of it. I'm going to share the link to the website and all the videos and stuff in the description of this video. Reach out and get involved. Cobus, how long is this project running for? Obviously, scientists got a certain time frame.
Yes, so I want to say a lifetime, but yes, otherwise it's not a proper research project. There's a few components to this project that excites us. For example, we want to make a documentary about it. So we literally want to capture people's stories. We want to process the data. We are going to, there will be an official research document that will be published as well. And for that process, we actually want to track over a 3-year journey with a person. The hope is that as this community grows, and maybe even outgrows the actual research component, that we will keep on adding people. And so, for example, person A can go through 3 years of this, but we might find in year 2, person B joining that will go on for 3 years. And so it is a longitudinal study, so we do want to track over a long time, and normally that is a 10-year period. But what we want to start off with is just the first 3 years. Can we see what the immediate impact is on a person's life, and what will come out of an experiment like this?
And I think maybe the next question that I want to ask is, who's the ideal person that you're looking for? Are you only looking for people that's got lots of money, or are you looking for people that haven't got money, people that's old, young, men, women? Do you have any specific preference, or can anybody that's busy watching this video?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got there's a lady that joined the experiment, and I think she's, I don't want to offend her now, talking ages and so on with ladies. I think she is 77, turning 78. And she, when I asked her, do you want to be part of this? She said, I'm too old. She said, I don't even know if I will be there at the end of this experiment of yours. And I said, that's the point. I said, I want to know how a person, and it's terrible to say this, or let me just use her words, at the end of their life journey will experience sufficiency, or what will be the impact for all our retired people. And then we've got people on the whole other end of the spectrum that's starting a life that goes like, I'm still thinking about, I want to make it big in this world, and I want to grow, and I want big businesses, and I want to climb the corporate ladder. What will be the effect on you and your successes when you start thinking sufficiency? And then everybody in the middle, all of us and so really the sample group is as wide as possible, a spectrum of people. For this first round, what we do need is a person with an internet connection, and a person that's willing to get on a platform and be a little bit tech savvy. But when I say tech savvy, my 77-year-old, you know, more than happy to jump on and work with it. And so that is it for this first round. What we would love to do with other kind of, you know, after we kind of start working with this first group, is to ask the question, how do we move into communities maybe that's less tech savvy, you know? How do we take it offline? But that is for talking about 2-3 years from now. That's kind of where the focus is. For this first round, any person on planet Earth, we will just have to sort out the time zones, by the way. So I don't like working 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. But any person anywhere in the world that's willing to jump online and to be part of this community, you are invited.
Yes, so I think just the closing words from my side as well, like I said, I've been part of this. I did the book club last year. I've been into this journey about a month so far. So if you guys want to come and join me on this journey, it'll be lovely to have you here. And I think, yeah, it's just an amazing journey so far. I've been enjoying it, and I've also made a commitment toward this project that he's busy with, that probably on a monthly basis, I'm going to give some feedback on my YouTube channel as well about my experiences and what I've learned and stuff. I'm not going to give away everything, otherwise there's no use of joining the club. But I just want to extend the invitation to everybody that's watching. And just once again, remember to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you for the next video.